Halo, selamat pagi semuanya. Good morning, everyone. So, I'll start with a little story. When I was 8 years old, one of my most favorite things to do was chasing ducks and chicken in my grandmother's village near Mojokerto. Well, they chased me back and bit me, but it was a little game of chase that I actually found really exhilarating. It was a place of simplicity where clay floors and flat bamboo beds with tikar or a simple mat were the norm. Yet I cherished every moment because for me, that was my playground. As I grew older, I started noticing the contrast between my life and their life and the perspective on better lives. When my mom offered my grandmother to modernize the toilet for sanitary reasons, my grandmother flat out refused. And she said, "Why fix something if it's not broken?" All around her, the community was not aware how small change can actually lead to a better life, better health, better environment. They were content on how things were, as long as they actually had food on the table, a roof over their head, or they can actually keep the chicken out of their land. But then I start questioning, right? Is that all there is to it? Don't we all aspire for more? It almost seemed that there is no need to be better or do better. These reflections made me think about our approach to helping others. Do we truly understand their needs? Or are we imposing our standards on them? Who are we to say that we know what they need better? And today, being part of GoTo Impact Foundation, where our intent is to not just positively impact the lives of millions of people, but also to nurture this innovative spirit. Why so? Because as we strive to solve complex problems, it's not about collaborating better, but how can collaboration actually drive innovation? So from this reflection, I'd like to share 3 bold ideas to instill this innovation spirit. Number 1, co-creation. To not innovate for them, but innovate together. The biggest criticism of our collective effort is when the community says, yeah, there are actually many organizations that have came, they provided solutions, they took pictures, and then they leave. However, they don't really care if the solutions that they actually offered us would work in the long run. And this is what happens when we innovate for them, not together. True innovation is born through co-creation and involving community in solving problems together. One proof point that I'm very proud of is to share a project from our Catalyst Changemakers lab, which you can learn more on our exhibition at the front, where a group of our changemakers came to Pulau Pasaran. The first course of action was to involve the community to solve problems with them. These changemakers actually already have a plan. However, they quickly realized that the solutions that were created by the community were actually even better, more pragmatic. For example, Rindu, the innovation recycling house, actually originated from the community. The project, though, did not have enough budget to make Rindu happen. But by this time, the spirit of innovation has not stopped them. They figured out a way to make it happen, and they were so proud. And this is belonging at its best. For the first time in years, Pulau Pasaran was not only able to solve the 5 aspects of waste management, but they were proud of their solutions and products, resulting in true systemic change. Number 2, experimentation. To not teach, but experiment together. Innovation flourishes in an environment of experimentation and play. Perhaps some of you are aware of the marshmallow experiment, where they asked groups of kindergarteners all the way to MBA students to build this tall tower using spaghetti sticks and putting the marshmallow on top. Now, the experiments show how over and over again, the kindergarteners actually beat the MBA students consistently. So how did these kindergarteners actually did this? So they start off by putting the marshmallow on top, right? And then they started building these towers, and they constantly experiment and reiterate. While the MBA students spent a lot of their time in planning, and they execute in one go, and they did not have enough time to actually reiterate. This inspires us to not just come and teach, to not just come and train them or capacity build, but to learn together through problem solving and executing together. And how do we do this? By creating a sandbox where changemakers and community can actually experiment and explore freely. Essentially, what we created was a playground. So when we went to Pulau Pasaran, we did not attempt to teach them innovations. We created a space for all of us to experiment and play together. Through this process, they became resourceful, developing ingenious solutions to the challenges that they face. Number 3, inclusion. To make innovation accessible to everyone. As a society, when we think of innovators, we always talk about the likes of Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, who have created major breakthroughs, flashy, high-tech solutions, radical solutions. Those are the stories that we keep on spreading, acknowledging, as if innovations cannot be done by regular Joes, as if innovations cannot be simple and incremental. Society's definition on innovation can be too elite, but philanthropy efforts can also be elite. It is very simple to invest in the 1%. And in a lot of ways, it makes sense. But if philanthropy is for the love of humanity, then who will invest in the 99%? The truth is, every individual possesses innate curiosity, creativity, and innovative potential. We believe that as a community, we can all unleash our innovative capabilities, but it also depends on our own mindset. This is why the work of our Changemaker became very, very important. They go to the communities not to change them, but to reignite the innovation spirit that has been hibernating due to the lack of simulation. So let's go back to the example of Pulau Pasaran. The changemakers, together with the community and with this mindset, they were able to solve not only the waste issue, but also the human capital issue and the economic issues. Magic happens when we allow those who are closest to the ground to own the decision-making process, to give them the seat at the table and treat them as partners to actually become innovators. That is our intent in GoTo Impact Foundation. We envision thousands of communities being inspired, collaborating, and innovating to solve local challenges. And to be able to do all of this, we need Gotong Royong, the act of mutual collaboration. But helping one another is no longer enough. we need to be able to drive innovation within the communities that we serve. This is why we are here today, to go beyond traditional philanthropy. We are an amalgamation of philanthropy meets innovation. Let's continue to bergerak, berdampak bersama, making impact together, and to make possibility our greatest currency. Thank you.